Welcome to the Tech Tarik Show, Lowyat.net's only official podcast. We are running with skeleton crew today because Pang is away, gallivanting in special places.
Yep.
So I have Andrew with me.
Hello.
Andrew doesn't usually say much. Today's
Wow.
going to be special.
Great.
Yeah. So before anything else, let's get to the news.
Yes.
Okay, so what happened? What's big? First of all,
A lot of
you were with Sony Xperia looking at the
XZS.
XZS. Okay,
We're going to call it XZS. I'm going to call it XZS.
you can do whatever you
It
want.
sounds better.
One
Anyway.
never speaks English.
Okay, sure. Anyway, so Sony launched the Xperia XZS and the XA1 in Malaysia recently. This will go for 2,899. It's quite a steep price, while the XA1 will go for 1,199 because it's a mid-range one.
Okay, let's ignore the mid-range phone because we don't have much time. XZS. What's the
Yes.
big deal?
The 960 FPS slow-mo video recording.
I remember this. One of the other journalists videoed. You filmed one of the other journalists getting slapped.
Yes, and it was glorious.
And it was glorious. You could see the fat ripple across his face.
Yep. It's really, really good.
Is this phone actually worth it for that?
Okay, so that's what we're going to find out in our review. But as far as first impressions go, it's still using the same chassis as the XZ. And in all ways, it's even using a slower processor, slightly slower.
Slower?
Yeah.
Wait, slower processor? What are we talking about here?
So the XZ has a Snapdragon 821 processor, but the XZS has an 820 processor. I don't know why.
Wait. They brought back the 820 is not that bad. Actually.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it's slightly slower than 821, but it's a bit odd considering the XZS was announced after the XZ.
no.
yeah.
What's a bit odd is they're asking so much for such an old processor.
I mean, it's only adding 200 ringgit over the XZ. And to be fair, it has 4 gigs of RAM instead of 3 gigs. It's the same internal storage, if I wasn't mistaken. And you get the new camera, which could be worth the price, maybe.
I don't know, but the XZS it still looks like an Xperia phone.
Yeah, it's basically an XZ.
Yeah, that's the thing about when it comes to Sony Xperia. You can tell it's one of their phones, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing.
Yeah,
It has its fans. There are people who love the Xperia series,
yes.
but there are a lot of people who don't like it either because at this point they've used it for what, 3-4 years already? It's the same
Yeah,
thing
easily 3-4 years. I mean,
over and over.
it looks, honestly, the design looks dated, but Sony is playing on their strengths here, which is the camera. So, I mean, as far as first impressions go, I'm very impressed with the slow-mo video. Whether it will justify the price tag, we'll have to see for a review. Yeah.
No, you're just asking full price. No, here's what I'm saying here is there are a lot of companies that have been accused of not innovating and doing the same thing over and over again.
Well,
And everyone ignores the fact that Xperia has been doing this.
I mean, as far as design go, yes.
Yeah,
They've
as far as
been
designs go, as
sticking
far
to the same thing.
aside from minor changes, hardware upgrades, even the interface is barely changed as well.
Yeah,
And
sadly.
that's my sticking point with the Xperia series. It's not to say they're bad phones. Every time I've gone near one, they've been great. They do exactly what you want them to do. Come on, they're boring.
That is true. Yeah, so I'm going to review a bit pessimistic, but the fact that the camera is so good as far as video recording go, I'm willing to give them the benefit of that for now.
Sure, and yeah, because we know other journalists who swear by Xperia. They love the series.
Yes, enough to get a slap in the face.
It's such a pity we can't use that video.
Yeah.
I had it on loop for 5 minutes, by the way.
Well,
Yes. Anyway, moving on. Speaking about smartphones and speaking about doing other things, Samsung has announced the Galaxy S8, but we're talking about that later in the show. Don't worry about it. What the other big news is that the Galaxy Note 7 is being refurbished for sale again.
yes, this is after Samsung India, if I wasn't mistaken, said that they weren't doing it.
So there were rumors floating around that said that this was happening. And a lot of authorities, a lot of countries were saying, no, this is not happening. This is not a thing. And then Samsung's come out and said, there are plans for this. They're not going to sell all of the refurbished Note 7s, but they're still talking to regulators about working this out because a lot of planes still ban the Note 7.
Yeah, so that would be tough.
Well, concerning the electronics ban, it's not going to make much of a difference.
Yeah, but I mean, if it does come to Malaysia, I imagine a lot of previous Note 7 owners, as little as they are, will be happy about it.
Well, it depends on the price.
Also true.
Because if it's sub 2,000, I can see a lot of people jumping.
That's what?
Keep in mind, this is a phone with a horrible reputation now.
I mean, if it goes to sub 2,000, that will be crazy.
But this is not an exercise to sell something, a flagship phone. This is an exercise to get rid of stock in the most efficient way possible. So what Samsung said is that they're going to refurbish a portion of these Note 7s and they're going to recycle the rest.
Okay.
And the ones that are not being recycled are the ones being sold. And so it's clear that this is not a profit, this is a loss mitigation. And the only way you're going to mitigate the loss is by selling these cheap.
Okay. I mean, if it's sub 2,000, I would gladly buy it.
Sub 2,000, everybody buy it.
Yeah.
But we don't know where it's going. No, they're not clear. They're still talking to regulators because it's not unclear who's going to allow them to do this. And you know how governments work, right?
Yep.
Slow.
Yeah. I mean, if it does come to Malaysia, it will be awesome.
I highly suspect it will come to Malaysia, or at least the ASEAN region, because we are a good dumping ground for this kind of thing.
I mean, I wouldn't call us a dumping ground, but
we're a good dumping ground, and you know it.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Singapore will allow it, but I'm quite sure it'll get past Malaysian regulators.
Singapore, I mean, possible countries, maybe Philippines, Indonesia,
Thailand, probably.
Yeah.
You can see a lot of Singaporeans coming to Malaysia to pick it up if that happens.
Assuming the government wouldn't ban it there.
No government's actually banned Note 7. It's not explicitly banned anywhere because it was recalled in time. So what else do you have?
We also have the cost to get an esports certificate in Malaysia from APU.
This is the Asia Pacific University, also known as APU.
Do people call it APU, really?
Yes, because it was previously known as APIT.
Oh, right.
And then they became university. So, and now they're offering their esports academy, which was launched with Esports Malaysia, NGO. And they will teach you how to be a pro gamer in 4 sports.
Yes.
Which are
Dota 2, League of Legends, FIFA 17, really? And Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
That's it. It's not easy to get in.
Did they line up any requirements for League of Legends?
Yes, they have, but I don't remember what they are. I remember that getting into the Dota 2 program alone is like 2,000 MMR?
3,000.
3,000 MMR.
And that's for the beginner one.
What's your MMR?
I'm going to say it here.
Come on, man.
Let's just say I can't enter, okay?
Yeah. I don't play Dota 2.
Yeah. I mean, 3,000 MMR is actually reasonable, considering like if you're at the 3K MMR, you're at least know how to play the game and you're decently good at it. You're not great at it, but you're good at it.
If you want to be a pro gamer, you're not going to do it with less than 3,000 MMR.
Yeah, I mean, programmer MMR should be around 6,000 to 7,000.
And the best crack 8,000 to 9,000.
9,000, yeah.
Yeah, and but what's the requirement for the final expert level?
I'm not too sure.
There are 3 levels. There's 3 levels for each course, and each level is 12 weeks.
Intermediate one is 4,000 to 5,000 MMR, and for the advanced level, more than 5.5K. Yes.
There are probably pro gamers that won't qualify for that.
Probably.
Here's the catch. Each of the courses is broken down in 3 levels. Each level is 12 weeks long.
Yes. That's really long.
No, they're weekend courses.
Yeah, but that's so weekend is in Saturday and Sunday?
I'm not sure. Could be. 12 weekends. It's 36 weekends an entire year. What happens is if you start from beginner level, you can qualify for the next level just by qualifying for the current level you're in. So if you're a beginner, you just finish that course. You go to intermediate. You don't have to hit 4,000 MMR. But I'm assuming there's at the end.
Probably. Yeah, but how would they do it?
The requirements for entry is not just the MMR. They will test you.
All right.
They will test you.
They mentioned that your MMR alone isn't enough, correct?
Yes. The requirements is their coaches. They will bring you there and they will make you play Dota or CS:GO or FIFA 17.
I'm like, I'm willing to just try. Like, I don't want to. Like, I know my MMR doesn't qualify, but I wonder if there would be special cases for certain individuals. Like,
No.
no,
No.
Great.
Good luck. Because I know you want to try, but you're not good enough.
Wow, MMR only says so much.
You are literally not good enough to qualify for the certificate.
Yeah, but I mean, there are a lot of people who think that MMR are not accurate, and I'm sure it's accurate in certain cases, but they're not very explicit in how MMR works. So that's how, like, some get scored for 1.5, some gets 2.5, things like that.
Yeah, it's fair enough. But what do they teach you in these things anyway? I mean,
Well, there are a lot of things to learn, but who are the teachers?
oh, the teachers, because we covered this story earlier before when they first set up the academy, when they signed their MOU with ESM, they're getting ex-pro gamers to come in as the coaches.
So I'll probably get tutored by Mushi.
No, nobody that good.
Okay.
So these are like ex-team coaches, ex-pro players who just settled down, they're out of the scene, they're doing something less stressful.
Okay.
No, you're not going to get Mushi.
Maybe a special guest appearance?
I don't know. He's currently very busy.
Yeah, with Mineski, was it?
Mineski. He's joined Mineski. Yeah. He's currently very busy and he's got better things to do than to teach you how to play Dota.
Well, support the local Malaysian players?
I don't.
No? Yeah.
No. But speaking of Dota 2, and by the way, remember, the Esports Academy is not just Dota 2, it's just the only game we're familiar with.
Well, I dabbled in CSGO, but not that.
If Pang was here, he could talk about CSGO.
Yes.
But I don't play that either.
Sorry, Pang.
Yeah, so speaking of Dota 2, they've announced the dates for TI7.
Yes.
When are they?
July. Sorry, August, if I was mistaken. Sometime in August.
So same time last year.
Was it?
It's always around that time, August, September. End of summer.
Right. I mean, I've only started playing seriously in Dota for since the last TI, actually. Yeah.
TI6.
Yes.
You've missed so much, child.
It's fine. I mean, I started playing Dota since 2006, 2005, around there. And after a while, I just stopped for a good few years. And then being in Lowyat, we have Tarik, who's like crazy into Dota. And
you know what we need to do?
Yes.
We need to get Tarik into this esports academy.
Yes. We should contact Apu.
We totally should contact.
Seriously.
I don't know if they're actually called Apu, but that's what I've always been referring to.
It's easier, like APU, Apu. You know.
Exactly.
One less acronym. Sorry, one less syllable.
TI7 qualifications from the majors should be starting. Sure, already started, I think.
I should start for Kiev, I think, which is happening late April. Kiev major.
That is the qualification.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they got the China's major, the DAC, but I don't think that counts.
I doubt so.
Anyway, yes, we got one last bit of news, and nobody else on this podcast actually cares about this except me. And that is, it was announced that Destiny 2 is coming to the PC.
Previously, it was a console exclusive, was it?
No, Destiny, the one that's out now, is PlayStation exclusive.
Was it?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Nobody else had it. It was one of those games that sold the PS4. It wasn't reviewed very well. It's just people couldn't stop playing it.
Okay.
And so PlayStation Bungie, the developer, released it for the PS3 and PS4. After a while, they dropped support for the PS3. It wasn't getting any expansions. And now they announced Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is a completely new game. You don't carry anything over. You start fresh, which is good for us PC gamers because we never got to play it in the first place.
Okay.
We'll be on equal footing with all those PlayStation people.
But Destiny 2 on PC as well as other platforms, or just PC?
It's PC, PS4, Xbox One.
Sure, of course.
We don't care about Xbox One.
It's not technically in Malaysia officially, so...
Nobody cares about it. Listen, are you really going to play Destiny on your Xbox One?
I am a Sony fanboy, so I can't say it. Yeah.
Notably, the pre-order is already open. It's somehow cheaper in Malaysia than in the US, so please buy it through the Malaysian PlayStation Store.
Right. Okay.
It's also not on Steam.
Wait, so how is it going to be sold?
I don't know. The pre-order is not on Steam. I have no idea how to get my hands on it.
Okay. That would be weird.
Mildly annoying.
Yes.
By the
I
way.
mean, Steam is like the de facto for PC games nowadays anyway.
Not necessarily.
I mean, except for EA games, which are on Origins.
Origin?
Yeah.
Are you forgetting what you play?
What you play? Like, sorry, man. I'm really not familiar with that.
Yeah, we pretend not to know.
Yeah.
But yes, Destiny 2 on the PC. It's out in September. I'm ready for this.
Quite fast. Cross-platform?
No
PlayStation
mention.
players can meet PC players, things like that.
No mention of it yet, but I don't think it's going to happen.
That would be weird, like to divide it into 3 communities.
No, this is very important because keyboard and mouse.
Oh, right.
Is so much better than controller.
Forgot that it's technically an FPS-ish game.
Is this an FPS game?
I recall it being in third person in some instances. No.
No.
Oops. Well, I don't play FPS.
I'm quite sure you're thinking of The Division.
No, I don't know. Like I was interested in Destiny, but it's too much grinding for me.
That's the entire point.
Sorry, man. I'm still stuck with Nier Automata right now. Yeah.
Hipster.
What?
Anyway, yes. So that's it for news.
Yep.
Next, we're going to move on to our next segment where we're going to call Pang in New York and talk to him about the Galaxy S8.
Yep. Big stuff.
And we're here with Pang on the line from New York City as he calls in from just after the Samsung Unpacked event with the launch of the Galaxy S8. Hey Pang, how's it going?
What's up? It's cold. It's really cold. It's raining, like in KL, but it's cold.
It's like in KL, so no difference there. Yeah, so you finally got to see the Galaxy S8 for real in person. So what's it like?
I think the first thing that I'm gonna say is basically everything that you've seen for the past 2 months is they're all true.
So everything we said in the last show, the rumors, everything, it's all spot on.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I mean, from one guy anyway. So a lot of basically everyone was ready. They kind of knew what. And surprising actually was the fact that people seemed to care. Like everyone who was present was like pretty much happy to see that it's finally here. And like we were going through like the places in the experience zone afterwards and all that. Everyone was just genuinely excited to see this.
So
it's like surreal, you know. I know.
Why is everyone so excited? I mean, the specs are out there. They've been out there for months. People kind of know what's coming.
Yeah. So I think the first thing that we have to say, I have to say also, is the fact that photos do not give justice to this phone. Like if you see it in person and you feel it, very different. Like it feels really good in the hands. It feels surprisingly good. Like the best way to put it, it's surprisingly good. Like you don't like them to like saying like, oh, it's 5.8 inches and 6.2. Oh my God, this is a big phone. And then you hold the S8, it's 5.8 inches, and it feels barely as big as the S7 from last year, 1 inch short.
Wow. Wait. So it's a big phone that doesn't feel like big phone.
Yes, and because it's narrower, so the 18.5 by 9 aspect ratio isn't exactly what one would come to expect. So it's surprisingly comfortable, it's surprisingly small, it's very slim. 5.8 inches feels like you can use it with one hand very comfortably. And the 6.2 inch S8 Plus, basically about the size of the iPhone 7 Plus, if I'm not wrong. It feels
it's
just about.
Yes.
The S7, the S8, I have to say, is actually smaller than the S7 Edge. Like both, like dimensionally, it's narrower. It's actually about the same height, but most importantly, it's narrow. So the difference, like you feel the difference. Sorry, and
So it has less volume than the Edge.
right, and like I think
Okay.
from the resolutions and stuff, you can see that it's sharper, but also it's not as sharp as the resolution isn't as high as like if you went for a 16:9 display.
Okay,
Basically,
so this is an 18.5 by 9 aspect ratio.
correct.
So does that make a difference? I mean, the number itself looks very odd, but I'm assuming that Samsung knows something that we don't here.
Yeah, so I think for a long time, like manufacturers have always gone with a 16:9 display, and it's more to mimic like smart TVs at the time. I'm not really sure why they settled on 16:9. I can't remember what the explanation was.
It's
but
widescreen format, right?
yeah, but there's a shift from 4:3 to 16:9, and anyway, companies like LG and Samsung kind of just went like,
we don't have
follow
to do
this
the
aspect
cinematic
ratio.
thing. Yeah,
But because to be fair, like the actual cinematic aspect ratio is actually 21:9.
that's true.
That's when you watch a 16:9, right? So what actually then that's a disadvantage for people who want to consume media, a 16:9 phone, right? So we were at the pre-event briefing, and this statistic was given to not statistics, basically the kind of detailing why they went for an 18.5 by 9 aspect ratio display. It's many benefits, but very few disadvantages. So because it's taller, is that the gripability of the phone is better, but it also means that you can still reach for the corners without really stretching yourself too much. The second thing was multitasking. There's more vertical space to kind of move apps up and down. Like they gave us a very easy example was like you can watch a video while texting someone, but the onboard keyboard comes up. It usually kind of covers the conversation thread. This one you can still see a little bit of the thread, and you can see the conversation. So that was that. But
this sounds a lot like they're going for ergonomics and ease of use over the cinematic experience.
Well, so that brings me to my last point. So because the aspect ratio is much closer to a 21:9, all movies play on, is that this aspect ratio gives you 36% more video than a 16:9 display. So they basically eliminate the black bands on the top and bottom. They are closer to the native aspect ratio of cinematic movies.
Closer. Okay. I'll believe that when I see it.
Because
honestly,
if you saw the photos, like you can see, I've taken a photo where they played two photos side by side, and the aspect ratio is closer to the aspect ratio, which means that it doesn't have to compress a lot of things into the frame.
True. I've seen the photo, but I'm not quite convinced that we're used to seeing video on a phone in a certain way.
Yeah, with the black bands at the top and bottom. So what happens is that I don't know how else to explain it, Fine. A movie is 21:9.
Yeah.
Okay,
21:9.
Like let's take YouTube videos, for example.
Yeah.
They're usually shot in 16:9.
Yes. So what happens there is that you can watch it in 16:9. I think there will be black bars.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, it kind of mold like it to the footage that you're watching, force it to go full screen and watch it in 16:9 on that display. So there'll be like a little black bar at the top and bottom.
So you can, but
yeah, you definitely can, because like the minimum width is still 1080.
Yeah.
So that's that. So
yeah.
Aside from this aspect ratio, what's the display really like?
Beautiful. Like it's amazing. Like we've seen like Xperia XZ Premium. The one with the HDR display. Same thing here. Yep. It's this S8 display is mobile HDR Premium certified, which is some standard that they're kind of pushing and all that, with some global HDR standard. Really nice, like great displays. But you start taking photos with it, and your photos look better than they actually look, because the HDR kind of kicks in and everything looks amazing. So
White and color gamuts, things like that.
You're going to be very disappointed when you transfer those photos out.
the camera is still very good. Like we're gonna talk about that.
Okay, we'll talk about the camera later, but
Yeah.
they spoke something about the entire display being the home button, something like that.
Okay, no, actually it's not. What
Okay, so how does
happens
it
is
work?
that remove the physical home button to create more space. So the single most important thing about this display is the fact that it is 83% screen to body ratio.
Screen to body ratio.
It's a screen to body ratio of 83%, which basically means it's entirely by screen. It's not as crazy as the 91.3 on the Xiaomi Mi Mix, but a lot of screen and real estate smartphone of today.
Okay, so
That
what's
is
this
the-
deal with the home button then?
Let me go on first. That is the single most important thing in the S8,
Okay.
because the first thing that captures your attention is the screen.
Okay.
Needed for Samsung and phone industry in general. Like someone had to kind of move. It's a logical thing because you go to like curved screens. Curved screens meant that able to create a larger display without really making it curve around the sides, making it easier to grip and more comfortable. So this was like a logical like expansion or iteration to remove the home button. So
Okay.
they kind of went the Apple route. Bar is all on screen. So the back, recent apps, and home button is all on the screen itself. They're all virtual
Okay.
display. They're all virtual keys, which meant that people who didn't like Samsung's decision to put the back button on the right side, you can now change it.
So
The home
there's
button,
there's option to put the back button in the right place.
that's what you all think, but for me, I feel like the right place is still the one closest to your thumb. So
Yeah.
No, that's because you've been using Samsung for too long. There's the right
Um,
way to do it, and there's the Samsung way to do it.
But you see, like, how often do you use the recent apps button, and how often do you use the back button?
I use both about reasonably equally.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but I use it about equally. I don't know about you people because they're
Benefit
where we
of-
need to be.
That is the benefit of a software navigation button.
Yeah, the
navigation
Yeah,
button.
the software
So
button.
yeah, you can move it around. You can swap it if you prefer it or not. So
So the Android purists can
Directly-
get off this case.
yeah, finally, right? Home button. It's a virtual
Yes.
home button. There is a haptic engine at the bottom of the home button.
Okay.
How
So-
similar is it to 3D Touch?
3D Touch is so much better. Like I'll be honest here, like it feels similar, but I think like demo area was not. It's really packed, but a sample unit, like an engineering unit, that was passed to us a few days as well for a while, like basically a day or two, and actually can set how strong this haptic feedback can get, but I haven't actually set it up, so it feels very weak for me. So I'm not really like quite, and so I'm getting used to, because I'm still using the S7, right? I'm still using the S7 Edge, so I still have a physical home button. The tactile feeling is still very different from a haptic feedback.
Yeah, haptic feedback, no matter what they tell you, never feels like the real thing. It's always
Yeah.
it's like simulation of the real thing. You can tell it's not
Yeah.
there. It just
It's something
doesn't
that
feel
has
right.
to be done, right? They have to kind of move away from it because they need to save like space in the front of the screen, front of the phone. So is that when you're using like a full screen app, a movie or whatever, and the navigation bar hides away, you can still tap on that area where the home button is, and you can still go home.
So it's kind of invisible home button right there.
Pretty much, yes.
Actually, sounds very smart.
Yes, it's
So what's
like
to stop me from accidentally pressing it when I'm playing a game?
you have to press it, like it's a hard press. Like
Oh,
basically,
literal.
like if you're tapping it, it's not gonna work.
I see. Okay, so it's actual literal hard press.
Yeah,
And
so
like,
it's only
go
in
for it.
that area
fair
where the
enough.
home screen is. Yeah, but the implementation is actually quite smart. I haven't actually used the phone, obviously, so the only thing I can kind of use the phone for was to test out the camera. But talking about that yet. Are we still talking about the screen now?
I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about the screen?
It's a really good screen.
Sure, it's leaving you speechless almost.
I know it's like,
Okay, tell you what.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the camera then, since you're so excited about the camera. What's the deal here?
So what's happened with the camera is actually Samsung's retained the 12 megapixel dual pixel, the S7 Edge, but not in the sensor. It's actually in the image processor. So Samsung has what they have called multi-frame image processing. Basically the same technology that Google uses for the Pixel smartphones.
Okay.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah. So
still any good?
very fast. Like I could feel that the autofocus has been really fast to begin with.
Okay.
There's very little. There's basically no shutter lag. Like focusing is quick. The kicks in without anything. Like it feels really snappy. Like for a smartphone camera, it's really quick to like take photos, because what happens is that multi-image processing means that taking photos before you take the photo. It's before you tap on the shutter button.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So essentially, the photos are already being processed while you are like the moment you press it. It's just capturing that exact moment when you tap the shutter button.
This one isn't new though. I think some other phones also have it.
That's what I just said. Google Pixel's the exact same technology.
Yeah, is Pixel the only one?
Yes, that's the only one, because Pixel does not have OIS and HDR. I can't remember, but this is basically their version of HDR. Yeah, so multi-image processing basically is like HDR plus like boost mode for HDR. So it basically takes information from you take from the frames before you capture the photo and after, to stitch into one intelligently stitched photo.
I seem to remember there was privacy and security argument when Google did it. Something about you don't want your camera being on that quickly.
Actually, Apple would be the one who started with that. They called it photos. So it's like 3 seconds before and 3 seconds after. So basically, the moment you turn on the camera app, it's already kind of recording and or shooting photos until you press the shutter button.
Yeah, so
keep the first 3 seconds and the last 3 seconds, and you kind of turn it into like. But this implementation is very different, because this one is basically doing a burst mode the moment you turn on the camera.
So it's vaguely similar. It's not really a video, but it's burst mode is only taking pictures.
Yes, correct. And whatever photos
So did Samsung even say anything about the privacy concerns that might arise, or they just assume that?
I really don't think that there was anything to begin with. Like at the end of the day, like the photos are stitched into one. The data is compiled into one single photo, and then the rest of it is just discarded.
You never know.
Motion photos has been around, and it's been around since iOS. Kind of had the same version last year as well. So it's been around.
People are just living with it, aren't they?
Well, you could turn it off. Like it's been off on my S7 for like since I got it. So it's not turned on by default. So
okay. So what else about this camera is awesome?
Well, the front camera has changed. They've improved the front camera from a 5 megapixel sensor to an 8 megapixel sensor. More importantly, it has autofocus, which makes it one of the few front-facing cameras to have autofocus on the. Generally, if cost, most front-facing cameras are fixed focus.
Yes.
They are tuned to capture a photo that's taken at arm's length.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So
Samsung's internal research found that more and more people were taking group selfies, more than one person. So it can no longer focus on one person. They've added autofocus. They've added the two together, and you get like a for taking group photos.
They've tuned the front camera. It's essentially tuned the front camera for use with selfie sticks. That's all I'm hearing here.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's all I'm hearing. Listen, we know you're all going to use selfie sticks with a lot of friends, and that's what we're doing now.
Well, that's one, but the same thing also, like at the same time, we are taking group selfies without the selfie stick anyway. So it's the complaint for this one.
Yeah.
Even people that I know have complained that their group photos only focus on the person taking the photo because that was where the fixed focus was fixed at.
Yeah. Okay. I guess.
Basically, this will fix that.
Was it really that big a problem before?
Farhan, you don't take photos. That's number one.
I don't take selfies, exactly. So
you
need
don't
to
take
tell
photos,
me these things.
full stop. So this thing is a pretty big deal for a lot of people. So I don't use the front camera that much, but
you can understand that I'm not getting excited. But Andrew is surprisingly passive about this as well. And you know he takes selfies all the time and he doesn't show us.
Not all the time.
That you don't show us, we know. Okay, no, Andrew, tell us, is this a big deal for people like you?
I mean, I never really noticed whether things are in focus or not. Most of the time, they're all focused anyway.
That was a terrible answer. All right.
I don't take group selfies.
Exactly. He's a one-man lone wolf kind of guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're quite big. To know a few people who actually hate front cameras because people have complained that when they take group photos, it's always the person taking the photo who's in focus. Everyone else is kind of like slightly blurred. If you look at the trend, like these have created smartphones dedicated to best selfies ever.
Yeah, they have. So.
You can have the more consumer level ones with like Oppo, Vivo, who's kind of moved the camera the other way, so as the front, not the back. You can talk about the Mate 2 camera. So in China, it's insane. 3 megapixel, massive sensors at the front instead of the back. Actually, a legitimate concern. It makes sense to kind of improve the camera on the front.
So when it comes to front-facing cameras, you're saying that Samsung's essentially made an even better selfie camera than all these phones designed for taking selfies.
Wow.
That's a very strong claim. At the end of the day, it's about catching up to that. Of China, few smartphone companies have actually really focused on the front-facing camera. Smartphones. Like Sony has a camera that has a front-facing camera with flash and whatnot. Like nobody's really actually done it on the flagship level.
Yeah, they haven't. So,
and Samsung's
going. You think this is going to make a big difference? Because
other companies are going to follow suit. So if you think about it, like has gone through like many iterations, like so much advancements in the rear camera, but the front camera has largely been the same. Still kind of small. They are fixed focus and been ignored a lot. So
I assume they were kind of small to save space on the front.
Exactly. But the thing is, like the trend is that more and more people are taking selfies now.
True.
If you don't kind of follow suit, like if you don't create cameras or a front camera that's capable enough, and the Chinese companies have kind of really taken advantage of this. You've seen like these smartphone cameras from companies, and they're all capitalizing on the fact that they developed a phone.
Fair enough. Okay. So is that all for the camera, or is there something else that you want to talk about?
Look into the software of the camera. They actually even baked in like filters. Filters is normal, right? But they have added in like default stickers and also like facial and things like this, the ones that Snapchat has.
I see.
So like they're making it a very big deal. So how, whether people are going to use this or not, but indication that this is a strong focus for the camera as well. So it's not just about the rear camera. Rear camera is pretty excellent as it is. Like, I feel like they haven't really gone into like a dual camera setup to follow the other people who has done that.
But do they really need to? I mean, it's generally great that Samsung has good cameras on their phones. They don't really need to follow that path.
It only makes sense if they have something to offer. Like if the dual camera system is better than what Samsung has right now. So the fact that they kind of retained the the dual pixel sensor from last year is like, some people would say that Samsung is confident that this sensor is better than the dual camera sensors from like the competition. And some people are also gonna say like, oh, Samsung is like, not innovating on the rear camera because they don't have a dual camera setup. The fact is that dual camera setups have been around since 2014.
Yeah.
So nobody really kind of,
But you said that you actually tested the camera. So we've tried the dual sensors in the office. So what do you think? Does it compare? Do they need to innovate, or is it good enough?
Okay, so for me, the most important thing in a smartphone camera is how safely say that we've all been spoiled by the camera at some point in most of us in the office. The autofocus speeds is unparalleled.
Yes.
Take out the camera, turn it on, focus. Like a lot of the other cameras these days, even the flagship ones, you can see like a few milliseconds of like focus hunting and then focus. You open it, it's already in focus. It's really fast and multi-image processing thing that they have, and like I'm gonna be working on comparison posts, but 7-inch, but so far it's improvements, but they're quite subtle. It's more on the software side of things, the processing side of things.
Okay, well, sounds good. So yeah, maybe that's what's really important in this case. I mean, but correct. Actually, Andrew, you tried the S7.
Yeah.
And you tried the Mate 9's dual camera setup.
P9, Mate 9.
Yeah. So
P10.
Yeah. What do you think?
The thing is, Samsung has always been very good with their cameras. They're very fast, and frankly, their competition is just not as fast.
So in other words, better software might sell the camera better than all these gimmicks like extra sensors and whatever.
I mean, they take good pictures, but if you want to compare autofocus speeds, yeah, Samsung wins.
Fair enough. So maybe it is in the software. Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about the camera?
Tune for the camera comparison thing.
when it goes up, yeah, we'll show up on Lowyat.net at some point.
It should be up by the time we finish with this recording is posted. So yeah.
Sure. You also remind me that you want to talk about the Galaxy S8's battery life.
Oh, right.
Yes. So
not so much on the battery life. I think it's more to do with the argument or one of the potential pain points of the phone. It's 3,000 milliamp hours for the S8 and 3,500 on the S8 Plus. Last year's models.
Did you get an answer out of Samsung about these things?
They actually pointed out to the efficiency of the new 10 nanometer Snapdragon 835 or the Exynos 8895. Pretty confident that it's more than enough.
So they're relying on the processors becoming more efficient rather than bigger batteries.
Correct. I think they have. I also feel like they're taking a very modest approach. They don't really want to risk it this time. Like at the launch event, they spent like several minutes talking about stepped up their battery plants, where the testing is not only done in the manufacturing plants from the suppliers, but when they come in to Samsung's manufacturing plants for the phones, like 8-step testing systems, and with one battery in that batch, they reject the entire batch.
Which is quite fair, I would say, considering what they've dealt with. This isn't really a knee-jerk reaction. This is more of a well, we kind of need to do this.
Yeah, but these are like things that nobody actually has done before, because like my understanding of like manufacturing percentage point of tolerance level. So if like it's not one,
Yeah, it's a certain
like
number before they throw.
yeah, 2 or 3%, which is still okay. Like 2 or 3% in like a huge number, this is almost like it's a very small number anyway. So the fact that they're saying if even one battery cell fails, they reject the entire batch that comes with it.
Well, saying that kind of gives you a lot more confidence with Samsung products then, it's a
Yeah,
zero
but
tolerance
it's
policy.
not gonna stop the exploding jokes now. So
Yeah,
it's gonna
of
take some
course.
time, but it all depends. It all really hinges on the S8. So I forgot. There's one last thing I need to mention.
Yeah. What is it?
So S8's fingerprint sensor has been moved to the back, right?
Yes, that's no secret. That was part of the rumors.
Remember when we talked about why it's over there at the back?
Yeah.
So you learned why.
It's because it's not asking people to try out the iris scanning thing, because it's genuinely speaking, like honestly speaking, iris scanning sucks, right? Because it adds another layer of interaction. You unlock the phone, you have to swipe up to enable the IR scanner to turn on and scan your eyes.
Yep.
It's inconvenient because you have to move your eyes you have to move the phone to a certain angle, and frankly, it's annoying. Yeah, they came up with a less secure way. It's called face recognition.
Oh yeah,
Setup's
I
pretty much
remember
the same.
this. I remember looking at that and realized that. So, what's to stop me from using a photograph of a person?
I think it will work.
Apparently, it works,
Uh-huh.
but they have actually said this repeatedly, right? So when you set up the face recognition thing, so I'm gonna kind of give you a really quick rundown of how it works. Process, you kind of face the phone and prompt you into doing anything. And I actually make like I made faces while the camera was like on my face. And once that was all set up, I just gave a normal face when I unlocked my phone, and it worked really quickly. It was kind of sweet. Like it's really fast, and
So it can
besides
generally
pressing the
recognize
home
you no matter. So it can generally recognize your face no matter what face you're making.
within the face that they're kind of, identifying and saving, they actually say things like before you start the process, they actually kind of give you a few points, asking you to, obviously this is well lit. I think
So-
they said try not to wear anything to cover your face because it makes it more difficult, which kind of makes sense. These are all like kind of like straightforward.
This sounds like the same thing, same advice Windows Hello gives you.
Right. But Windows Hello works in a different way, because Windows Hello is based on infrared, whereas the
Yes.
running on the front camera.
Which is still quite limited, I would imagine.
So that's why they're actually saying that this is a less secure authentication mode, because
So why put it in at all?
for some people who don't really kind of like, it's more of a convenience thing than a
Sure.
security
Yeah,
thing. When
I
you
guess.
press one button and it unlocks the phone, it's even faster than to unlock the phone, which has no
Fair enough.
security.
Barely.
So
Fair enough.
these are it's really designed for people who are particular about securing their phone. But you got to remember that if you put the facial recognition as a application, you still have to key in that you still have to put in a security pin.
I see. So
Of course.
facial
Fails,
recognition
you go-
isn't. But that's the case for all the others as well, isn't it?
Correct.
The security pin is always there.
The pin is always in case that doesn't work, you can always fall back to a pin. But
Yeah.
going to use that face recognition is so fast.
So here's my question: can I
Yeah.
layer all of it? Can I say it requires my face, it requires the iris, and it requires my fingerprint?
No, you can't. To
I choose
log
one.
in, either the iris or facial recognition. Fingerprint you can put in. It's only
So-
going to be used for like Samsung Pay. There's something called Samsung Pass as well, but I don't think it's coming to Malaysia yet, because it's more of a like B2B kind of thing more than a.
Okay. So wait, I can't layer all of these security options on top of each other, which would really give me a secure phone.
I guess if you really need to, you can send your request. over to the folks at Samsung. But essentially, it's and iris at the same time, but they're not used for the same things.
Well, fair enough, but still, it would be nice to have everything. That would be a lot more secure. You'd be paranoid, but secure.
Yeah. So they have an app called Secure Folder as well. So that one is like it's either an iris or a fingerprint to unlock.
So that's essentially like encrypted folder on a desktop machine that requires a password to access.
I will tell you, like, that is for people who value speed and like for people who don't really like to kind of put in passwords or look into a phone at a certain angle. Face recognition is a really good replacement for the fingerprint sensor that's on the front, if you think about it. Because I think Andrew can relate to this one. Like if you have like the Huawei P10, Mate 9 rear fingerprint sensors and you tap on it.
P10 in the front.
Oh, is it? Okay, sorry. Oh, yeah, it is. Or the ones at the rear, you just tap a finger and it unlocks the phone immediately, right?
Yes.
Face recognition tries to give you the same effect. Button, which is either the power button or the virtual home button.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really require you to stare at the phone. The angles are quite forgiving. Like you can be the time. You're not really looking 30 centimeters directly kind of thing that the iris scanner requires. So it's really fast and option in the settings to kind of bypass the lock screen. So if you press the power button, it checks for your face to the home screen.
Nice.
Fair enough. So you can have speed but slightly less security, or you can be really secure but it's going to be slow.
Correct.
Well,
So
I guess
again,
that's
it's
not...
like
I just speed over security though.
Sorry, man. I don't know where you come
you
from.
keep in your phone.
God, man. Okay. Yeah. So we are running low on time here. So, Pang, you want to talk? The last thing you want to talk about was the ecosystem play from Samsung. They're talking about building everything into one place now.
Yeah, I mean, for a while now, most of the smartphone manufacturers these days, for the past few years, have already realized. Yeah. So talking about ecosystem play, for the past few years, actually, a lot of these smartphone makers have kind of realized one thing. Your smartphone is going to be the most powerful device you hold in your life.
Fair enough. Okay.
All the time, with you all the time, and things with it. So the more powerful your phone gets, the more spend time and do stuff on it. With how Samsung's working on an ecosystem of devices, so it limited to like the DeX docking station that turns your phone into a desktop. It's not limited to your phone. Basically, like controlling your home is using your smartphone. So Google has this. Apple is working towards it. It already has quite a number of supported devices from third parties, and another good example actually is from Xiaomi, who has been talking about ecosystem play for like the funding.
Xiaomi
startups.
is quite aggressive when it comes to their ecosystem play. I mean, they're like funding everyone. They're investing in small companies, and it's like going nuts with it.
Yeah, because they also consider themselves to be like venture capitalists. So small time startups go to Xiaomi, which is also a startup, for funding, and they'll give them the money with like some profit sharing, the product launches.
Well, Samsung doesn't really need to do this because Samsung's a big enough company that it makes everything itself.
It's already making the devices, right? So all it needed.
Yeah.
So having an interview with Hugo Barra from Xiaomi back ago, and he was saying that it's getting easier to create smart, because the prices for like all those like low powered chipsets that is smart has gone down to a point where it's so cheap that and it wouldn't affect your bottom line.
That's fair enough. I mean, you see these things popping up everywhere.
That was the argument, that it doesn't even matter if it's not about cost anymore. It's about how you want to enable it. So like the basic, you can also like for consumers or for like the geekiness, there's like the Raspberry Pi, which is a really good example of how you can like cheap, smart like computer can be. I remember Hugo Barrow was saying that this Wi-Fi module that they put into like their smart aircons is like $1, including a battery. All it is in that motherboard is basically a battery, a controller, and a Wi-Fi chip. That's it.
That's all I really need. But speaking of which, Samsung then announced that they've got this new Wi-Fi controller hub thing, the Samsung Connect, which they say will get on your Wi-Fi network, find every other Samsung device that's connected to the network in your house, and then allow you to control it through that thing.
Basically,
it is really their play. This is where they're going.
Frontier for technology is actually the home.
Yeah.
One's kind of already known that, so they've kind of moved towards creating like smart home appliances and stuff, and that's been the case for like the past few years. So Wi-Fi networks, that's actually one of the newer breakthroughs that very, very new. Is that they're actually based out of one product called the Eero, if I'm not wrong, and that idea and created their own mesh Wi-Fi routers. So essentially, what the Samsung Connect is like a route. It's like a bunch of tiny routers that you kind of put around your house.
Okay.
What it does is that it kind of extends the reach of your Wi-Fi to kind of allows it with all your devices around the house.
So this is a fancy repeater.
Wow.
It's a fancy Wi-Fi repeater.
Who has this as well? Xiaomi has that. Google has its own range of like, I'm not very familiar with the technology itself, but essentially it's what you have just said. Expanding the reach of the Wi-Fi.
The curious thing I noticed about the Samsung Connect, because I checked out the Samsung's homepage for it, it will connect to Google Home as well. So it's capable.
Why not?
It's capable of finding your Google Home devices and connecting to that as well. You know, it's all be one big happy family.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think they don't have like a just yet. So
yeah, they don't have their own version of Alexa or something yet.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's coming. It's definitely coming.
Well, it's really hard to say because like at the end of the day, like the Pi router thing hasn't really taken off. It's been around for a year plus. The Google's kind of made their own mesh Wi-Fi routers. They've last year at the Google I/O last year, and very few people kind of picked it up because it's like, what's mesh Wi-Fi?
I can see that it'll only grow in usefulness as more people replace old appliances with new smart appliances. But your home stuff lasts a long time, and you're not going to change it at a drop of a hat.
I think, if I'm not wrong, was Samsung's internal research. This was from like their C forum event. Your TV, the time that people will replace their TVs is around now. Majority of people are going to move and upgrade their TVs around 18.
Okay, fair enough.
That was the year when, I think that this is the time when they estimate that these were the first and early adopters of these TVs and at the smart TV entry point into a smart home. Because once consumers realize that, hey, this is kind of convenient, smart TV that you can like cast videos and play YouTube videos from without using a phone, and they'll be interested into like moving into like devices like a washing machine.
But I don't see it happening very soon because frankly, how often do you buy a new washing machine?
No, of course. Like these are things that
this 10, 20 years down the road, then you think about it.
Okay, maybe not 20 years. Like we're talking about a generational thing. So it's more of a gradual embracing of the technology rather than in one go, right? So that is the view. Like that's the idea. That's the dream. That control from your smartphone, and this whole biometric authentication thing has been component within like a lot of these smartphone makers. Fingerprint sensors is no longer just a luxury; it is an important part of the smartphone experience.
Yeah. Okay, Bang, we are out of time here, so I'm gonna. Do you have any final things to say?
Wow.
Yes, you can talk more if you want.
Most of it is already up on our website because we've able to kind of finish all the stuff before. It has been confirmed. It's 11th of April 2017 in Malaysia. 3 colors, black, gray. The other 2 colors are not confirmed yet. It may come at a later date. What we have been told is that the other new products, the Gear VR with touch controller, the Gear 360, and what's the last one? The DeX. They are only coming in at a later date. Not too far off from the launch. They said that it's not too far off from the launch of the S8 because after all, these are all meant to be used with the S8. So they are coming in. They're just not going to be launched at the same time.
Okay, fair enough. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that as well.
Yep.
We should be getting a review unit of the S8 very soon. I've been using the test sample for camera shooting and stuff. It's really fast. I really enjoy it with a very big display.
So it's safe to say that Samsung is back.
No. Well, to be back, it means that they've not. Not once in our entire hour of talking did we talk about a Note 7.
That's fair enough. That's all we need to know there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll let you go off and get some sleep. Then I think that's that for you.
Yep.
Peace for the week.
Oh, wow.
For the week.
I'll let you guys go on. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll see you when you get back to the office.
See you.
Bye.
Yeah, so that was an interesting talk about the Galaxy S8.
S8. I mean, it was mostly Pang, but yeah.
It's only Pang. He's the only one who's seen it.
Unfortunately,
you'll get your chance when we get the review unit.
Hopefully. I mean, Pang will be all over it, but...
Come on. Lowyat, we share.
We do we now.
Of course we share. But yeah, that's the show for this week. We will catch you next week then.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.